let's get this done quickly and push it. And I did, but I did it very carefully and with the care of a lot of incredible people in science. And I was doing hyperbaric oxygen chambers, but I went to the next level. And no matter what city I was in, I chose to go touring back and with pick lines, and some moments were good. And some moments I said to the audience, I became very vulnerable. And maybe that was necessary for me. I said, I'm going to sit tonight if you're cool with that. Nobody wasn't cool with that, because I still gave what I could and I received so much.
Welcome to Unapologetically Fab,
where we take you on a journey of discovery as we collectively explore how to stay fab
and live this life by our own design without apologies. I'm Stefany Baclaan.
And I'm Eden Alpert.
Woo, woo.
Woo, woo.
Here we are again, partner.
Hey.
How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. What's going on?
Oh, I'm having a really good week, I think. Hopefully you are too.
I am.
No drama this week. That's kind of hard to say.
No, just a cute boy drama. It's kind of.
Ooh, you didn't tell me about that.
I know. It's.
You saved the juice.
Yeah. Remember the faraway one?
Yeah, the faraway one.
He came back apologizing unapologetically.
Whatever. He's a dude. They always must apologize.
It's funny. It's getting. I kind of like someone. It's kind of weird.
Let's just hold off. Slow down.
I don't like people, and I just don't do any of that. So I just thought I'd share that.
Have fun. That's all I got to say. Have fun while you can. See where it goes.
I mean, I guess that fits in today's conversation, because today we're going to talk about the discovery of sharing as a transformation, how the act of sharing can transform you and the people with whom you are sharing. So I guess what we'll do is break down, as we are in this show, sharing our stories and how we're going to learn from each other and what we take away from this. So let me jump into our guest, one of the very few artists in musical history to successfully cross over into almost every musical genre and chart with hit singles in pop, dance, R&B, adult contemporary, and rock. The one and only Taylor Dayne.
Hi.
And one of my besties.
Yeah. Hi, ladies. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming.
Yes, so we've had a lot of our friends and family come on this show, and it's been so great to share them.
Well, you got great friends and family.
We do.
That I know through Eden alone, but yes.
I mean, the two of us collectively, I met Stefany filming my dad's documentary. Amazing. And then we realized, like so many of us do that are pretty much born and raised here or have been here for over 30 years, 40 years. We all have a unity of friends that somehow we're all connected through.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, actually.
Yeah, like we were supposed to be together. Steph and I, not like that, but
But what's funny is like you and I will be talking and it's like, oh yeah, I know her. Everybody knows each other.
How about my facial girl today? She's like, are you at Stephanie's house? I'm like, how?
Wait.
Because I mentioned podcasts and my girl that does my facials that I missed my appointment today, apparently. She's like,
these are how girls converse.
I know.
This is where it starts with lasers and facials, and then we just say how we know each other for 20 years. We never get to the point, but we're at it. The point is we all want each other to be fabulous. I'm guessing this is it. Okay.
I'm asking the first question today.
You do it.
So it's a good question because I know you are one of the groups of my friends that actually knows how unapologetically fab you are. I think you do. And how do you feel about being unapologetically fab?
Ooh. I think it's always been a mixed bag as being, look, I grew up New York, born, raised, Bronx, Long Island. When you say the word New York, people automatically think you're just coming from a position of strength and you're just saying what's immediately on your mind. So I've always kind of spoken that way. And I don't consider it unapologetic. It's like, I'm not a diva. I'm not apologizing. I'm just trying to get to the heart of the matter really quickly. Mm-hmm. And some people need a lot more finesse. Some people need to beat around the bushes and stuff. So how do I feel about that? I think that being unapologetic is a force and it's strength. And I carry that torch, very personally now for myself and a lot of other women and people, that if I've inspired anybody, that's incredible. Yeah.
So when we say unapologetic, I know maybe sometimes that could sound like something that comes with an ego.
Correct. Or rude. Right.
Or
it can.
rude.
Yeah.
And that's not the intention of the show. Yeah. For us, it's about empowering and owning who you are. And I can tell you for me personally that It took me getting to being unapologetically fab to really love myself. I don't say that with ego. I do
I understand that.
unapologetically fab with love. And I think most of us do too. So I'm glad that we are kind of discussing this because we need to let people know how we're really trying to come across.
We were having it because we don't want it. For me, it felt egotistical a little
Unapologetic.
bit. Like I'm unapologetically fab, but I got here and I'm unapologetic however I got here, and that's what made me fabulous. And I think combining that and knowing that the journey and accepting who you are and being authentic and true to yourself and actually being legitimately true, you're like, I am unapologetic for that.
If you're asking me that question, I think everybody in life has a story and a journey. And what you girls are sharing are going to be the experiences that define or led me to where I am today. We can share those experiences, but I can promise you, I've definitely done things unorthodox or in ways that most people go, wow. There's a lot of wow factor, I guess, because I stood up for things that I felt I had to, or it was life or death for me. And that's just the way I am made. That's the way my thought process was as a very young child. As I sit here today, I can tell you that.
So what do you know about yourself that others see?
That others see? I think what Eden just said, maybe a fierceness or a powerful, but what I've learned more is I'm an energy connector. I give off massive amounts of incredible energy, drawing people in, and it allows them to get out of their shit. And I do not like to take sides often. I don't try to position myself. I'm trying to weave through energy and allow things to flow through me, not land on me, because I have a lot to say and I have a lot to do. And energy is really not meant to be stored. It's meant to be transferred in positive energy and good energy that we all need.
Tell me, Taylor Dayne, let's tell everyone who you are. And you started, your first single was Tell It to My Heart. Let's. I remember
Just that little
used to
ditty.
make up dance routines to that. So,
I mean, everybody always looks at it like overnight stardom, but it really wasn't. I was that girl in every club. I grew up in New York. I grew up in Long Island, and I was in every club by 15, 16, 17. Legal age drinking was 18. So I happened to have, my backyard was CBGB's, bitter end. Bottom line, I got that exposure. And even as a young girl, my parents were avid theater goers. So I was at the PAP Theater, the, off-Broadway productions. And I was really exposed to the arts and such a creative. And to me, the 70s was the most magical musical time. I still just everything, anybody was on the radio, from Karen Carpenter to the Ohio Players to Marvin Gaye, Donna Summer, everybody. It was just a magical time to be alive and turn on your radio. That's who I am as far as where I started from. Yeah.
And you have 21 single hits. Is that right? Did I read
21?
that? Or is it?
I think I have 18 top 20. Yeah, it's crossed over from dance to, as you said earlier, my genres. I mean, I broke with Tell It to My Heart. Then I had, my second single was Prove Your Love. I went dance, crossed over into pop. And that's when the world started going, wow, who is she? But she had 7, 8 years prior to that 15-year-old, 16-year-old working in every club and trying new wave bands. That was all breaking in like 83, 84. Of course, MTV exploded. And then by 87, 88, I recorded Tell It to My Heart. On my dime, my daddy's $6,000. And I had already done a couple of 12 inches. I was hanging out in New York and I already was in the clubs, very hardcore. So Rick Rake, my partner, and I, we put it together and we made a production company. And that's like probably part of that unapologetic, Nobody was going, hey, look at that girl, Leslie Wonderman from Long Island. We want to make her a star. But I still had the voice. So I was like, they want me to sing like, baby, baby, baby. Like Alicia had first come out with the single. These were the singles that were coming out on the radio then. It was very kind of light dance. And then by mid-'80s, suddenly I heard Aretha Franklin had Who's Zooming Who. And I said, whoa. Then I heard Natalie Cole. And these were, wonderful, amazing artists, but they hadn't had a hit in a decade, at least, or 15 years. And I go, whoever gets that is going to get me. And that was Clive Davis and that was Arista. And that's who picked up my first 2 singles. That was Tell It to My Heart, Arista Records. Yeah.
That's big time right there too, Clive.
There's something you didn't know.
Yeah, there's something you didn't know.
No, I know about that. I know about Clive.
No fighting.
I loved it. A little big right now. I learn something new every day. So I always want to hear what I don't know from you and anyone.
Yeah, of course, of course.
You know, we've been through, I want to stay in music, but there was some inspiring things that happened last year and it still sticks true and strong on my heart because we went through it together with some friends and we were kind of right by your side. And I was being mama bear and trying to tell her what to do, but no, Taylor was going to do things the way she was going to do it. And you were tough in a good way. And you became your own advocate.
No guarantees. I was diagnosed last July with colon cancer. But because I'm now 60, this was in my 50s, I started going in for regular, colonoscopy to get checked. I did a virtual one at first, and then it came back a little iffy. I went in and did colonoscopy. So really where I stand today is completely not recovered, but, I caught this disease very, very early in the game because I was going in for checking and testing very frequently. And within 5 months, I developed cancer. That's how quickly, and an aggressive form between one colonoscopy to the next, because we had me on a pretty strict every 6 months. And they couldn't believe it. And then while in the hospital, I came down with a massive complication and it kept me there for another 3-6 weeks and wasn't going away too easily.
What was making you go and get the colonoscopies so often?
The first colonoscopy, I said I did a virtual, like some of us will start to do now.
I've done that.
And I would do it earlier than 50 now. I would start as we're seeing things. This is not something, it's very quickly runs through your system. Like if I could have that aggressive a cancer within 5 months and I already done a colonoscopy 5 months prior and I didn't even have that polyp, that's what happens. That's what develops within your colon. So why I caught it is because I was going every 5 months because I was developing polyps and they were cutting them and they were sending them out to get biopsied. And they said it's normal for some people. It's not genetic. I did my DNA testing then. I really started getting into a lot more of the intensity of what it took to maintain my health. But more than that, what Eden's talking about is my journey after the surgery. This isn't after the cutting of my colon. I did not take out a full colon. I took out a partial. I feel every year there's so much breakthroughs in science and biotech and, and cancer, obviously research. So I chose to do a portion of my colon and I will be going back for another colonoscopy in about 2 months. And more than that, the story of what she's talking about is why I chose to go back to work very quickly.
Well, this kind of is what we're talking about, sharing as a transformation, right? Because you're now transforming back into collectively what you started as.
Well, who I am.
And who you are.
Yeah.
How has sharing helped you transform personally?
Well, when people tell you how they view you I look at Tina Turner. She was a fighter. She chose to fight. She chose to get out. And then she also found tools, her Buddhism, her choices, and I always tell this, like when I hit walls, it's obvious that you need an outside inspiration. You need a conversation and you need somebody to say, you're missing tools. You have to go in and do some more work on yourself. And some of that's come from dear friends like Eden, where Eden was adamant that I needed to stay home and stay in the hospital and I said, I need to be on stage. I need to get the energy. I have no energy here.
With the PICC line in you, though. We're talking about you traveling.
No. I mean, nobody knew. Yeah. I mean, I was still on a PICC line. I was very, very sick. But it allowed me also to take my control back where I felt out of control and lost in the hospital. I felt if I could get home and start I know what I had to do. I knew how sick I was. I knew how it's going to take months for me to come back. But let's get this done quickly and push it. And I did, but I did it very carefully and with the care of a lot of incredible people in science. And I was doing hyperbaric oxygen chambers.
Twice a day.
Some people do, and I did it once a day. 90 minutes was enough for me. And but I went to the next level. And no matter what city I was in, I chose to go touring back and with PICC lines. And some moments were good, and some moments I said to the audience, I became very vulnerable, and maybe that was necessary for me. I said, I'm going to sit tonight if you're cool with that. Nobody wasn't cool with that because I still gave what I could, and I received so much. That's what I learned, reciprocity and just so many things.
It's the vulnerability and being honest.
100%.
And sharing, that's kind of why we wanted to start this show too, to inspire others and share your story and learn from each other, because we all don't know everything. And know that how we got here, we're unapologetic for it. And it's fabulous because you look how far you've come. Like, I'm super proud. I didn't know anything about this of you, and I've met you a few times and you're like this little ball of energy,
Yeah.
So what now? You're going back into your career. You're cancer free.
Yeah.
And how long?
But I'll go and do a CAT scan in the next month. It's been since September. So I didn't really think about sharing anything until I saw a green light in my head, in my heart. And that took a few months. I was pretty wrecked.
Yeah.
I lost about 20 pounds and I don't have 20 pounds to lose.
No.
There's a lot of
so
stuff.
Tiny.
And now I'm back. I mean, it's this whole strengthening and self-empowerment that happened for me. But at the same time, it allowed me to share a story and be vulnerable with people that I've not, maybe people see me as too fierce, too tough sometimes. And that's an exterior as well as
I could have looked at it like that because I wanted her to slow down. But you were doing Taylor. You knew what was best for you and you were not going to. This is what Taylor needed to do for Taylor. And it worked for you.
It did work.
And it actually is inspiring because maybe I would have sat back on the sidelines and just been like, I'm sitting here with a pick line, but you have this platform that you were able to use. And now you're using it also to share about being proactive for your health.
Yeah, be very proactive.
Half of what you went
health.
through is why I just did a blood test to find out the 50 different kinds of cells of cancer that I could have.
And that scares me.
Scared the shit out of me, but I'm like, I'd rather know than have it be a surprise.
I commend that. Guys, the more you learn, the more you know, the more you can tackle this. And let's not get into the price of things. Let's talk about our insurance. Let's get into all that. The thing is, you are in control of so much more than you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
And there's plenty more available than you think. And it starts with health. When you do not have your health, you really can't do anything.
Life is hard, but finding a really great podcast makes the days go by so much easier. Hi, my name is Blue Toulousma. I'm a writer, an emotional intelligence coach, and the host of Humanize with Blue Toulousma, a podcast where we believe that when you humanize everyone in the room, a great conversation is almost guaranteed. Join us every week here on ElectraCast as me and my guest co-hosts unpack big topics and interview even bigger personalities with a sense of humor and a dash of mischief. If you're looking for a new best friend in your head, we've got you covered. ElectraCast.
So here's the question then, because we were talking about this. So now, speaking about this, do you think you're unapologetically fab?
Okay, when I said health, there's mental health, there's spiritual health, there's emotional health. I was not emotionally healthy at all. What Eden saw was a little scrapper, and she saw it. And then I had to go do that. And then that took me to ketamine clinics and to Stella Gongolate. I had so much PTSD that I said to myself, put baby in a corner, get your physical body on first. This is how much you have to parent yourself. And that's what I'm on, how I've learned through all the years how to learn to be a parent to my little girl inside of me and take those journeys, whether it was through Hoffman. Every different time in your life, you come up with a different there's different things that culminate in your life, whether it's having children, a child, and they make you face things in the mirror of yourself, or you do take that time to face it. And I'm unapologetic that I've become this person I feel very balanced, even with the surgery, even with being a cancer survivor now. Where I'm unapologetic, where I feel so centered is I'm balanced between the spiritual, the mental, and emotional. I took the time for those three places, so important because I couldn't enter a hospital. I went with my boyfriend 3 weeks ago. He had to go into ER and I took him myself. And I had no reaction there. But imagine, 2 months before that, I would have probably been shaking it because I had such horrible experiences going back and forth in the ER and my own healing. But I took the time then to mentally and emotionally get through that. And there's lots of different ways you can do that too, ladies. We don't have to sit with the pain. I talk to my daughter very, very daily about this. It's a choice now, Astaria. It's not a have to. And you will go through it, but go through it, you must. That's how you become here. That's how you get where you sit. You got to get through it. But the other side is bliss. It's heaven. It's joy. It's rainbows. I swear to you, it's just a deep breath. I go to sleep at night and I go, wow, I'm good.
Yeah, you have a different calm about you.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about being unapologetically fab is it's not always there. It came for me way later in life. And that's a big part of what this whole thing is about, is just being able to own who you are, being able to take the moments that get you to where you are right now. I'm so unapologetic.
But share with these women all the techniques and the tools that you're getting. That's what I did. I spoke about what it took me to get out of a hospital, to get on my own 2 feet, from a white blood cell count of 21 to back down to an 8. And that, if anybody understands that, you'll understand that you can't move. You're dead on that. So that's what I did. I made it all about numbers, journey, and that's where I started. And then I said, now I'm going to get my head right. Now I'm going to get my heart right. Now I'm going to get my soul right.
Yeah.
And it took months, but here I am. And we can talk about that more specifically, but continue on.
I mean,
what's next for Taylor Dayne?
Yeah.
What's coming? Because I know there's a lot of fun stuff.
There's always amazing things, but right now I'm taking this opportunity to say that my legacy is the most important thing on my plate right now. Right now I enter 35 years of release of my first single, which was Tell It to My Heart. And more than ever, as an artist with intellectual property and all the music that I put out and all you fans and all that I still don't own my masters. I still don't have a collection on my masters. One of the most important thing is going back with Sony and actually making sure now that I get my rights back in my ownership, as well as sharing it. Not trying to be a greedy bitch here. I just want to share in the same streaming and opportunities that these labels have greedily just been sinking their hands into with bad deals. These things need to go all the way up to the Senate, where you have writers' strikes and when you have performing artists and recording artists, where we have virtually no rights, literally. It's just album by album. Each artist is made to go in there by themselves and negotiate a deal, as opposed to a team where you're on a team. And even if you're Alice Rodriguez, your team and your union supports you, as you're not allowed to do certain things prior. You come as a team, you leave as a team, where we are so separated and segregated, it's shocking. And that's why these strikes happen, and they're so important for writers and artists and musicians and actresses and actors. It's earth-shattering.
Thank you for bringing that up, because I think a lot of our listeners don't understand that part of the industry. And you and I have been talking about this for the past 5 years. We were talking about owning the rights to your masters.
You better believe it.
Yeah, and it's unbelievable.
And I hope if anybody from Sony is listening to this, the attorneys I'm working with, just do what's right now and let's get this done. I have an AFTRA pension that hasn't been contributed to in over 20 years. My AFTRA pension. You talk about music cares. Music needs to care. It really does. And that's the global entities, that really have not taken the time to look at the artists and what we've given to the world, that if it wasn't important, it wouldn't be around 35 years later. You wouldn't want to hear it. And it's proven to me over and over and again. So that's a lot of why I sit here in grace and trying to be in dignity and just say, my most important thing this year is to tie that up. Make sure I have a share in my legacy. My legacy is everything. And I put a lot of energy into it.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Do you get why we think you're unapologetically fab?
I guess that's the word you want to use for it.
That's what. Well, you're so many more things
balls
than
deep,
that. Yeah, you're balls deep. I like to say that about I have huevos, but you do.
Yeah, I mean, people would say you're very ballsy. And sometimes you're a bit. All those words, and I would say I'm not really a bitch. I'm just like I'm more of a masculine energy of saying, you know what, this is just so not right. But I took it a lot. I took a lot of beatings. I took a lot of hits, and we all do. In different ways. And then we develop shame, and we develop why did I let that happen to me? Why did I let that go? Why didn't I have that lawyer do this or that? But I have to tell you, it's the shame that I feel from a little girl when I walked away from some of the greatest hits of music, You have to take the time to go back in there, and now I'm taking the time to fight. This is my other fight. I'm still in a fight.
Oh, you're still in a fight. You're always going to be in a fight. And you're going to win this fight.
I want my legacy. I want to share in the rights of my intellectual property, my legacy, my music. Damn Skippy.
We are pioneers over here, warriors over here.
I'm going to ask you one last question. And what does gratitude mean to you?
Feeling. I'm so grateful I can sit here today and actually put my hands over my heart, where I learned at this incredible center, and it taught me to say, hi, I got you. I got you. Gratitude for me is being able to hold my own heart and being able to share that with the world and really humbly love who I am right now. Not tomorrow, not yesterday. Just sit here with that and have gratitude.
Oh, I can't.
I'm gonna bawl my eyes out.
I know. I've already had water. Thank you so much, Tay, for coming today. And we'll probably have you back again, because there's so much more we could talk about.
Always.
30 minutes isn't enough, but we are so grateful
Eden,
for you.
I know you so many years and so well, and you are a conduit for so much love and sharing and caring. And that's not everybody like that. You could have gone in many directions, and you chose to fight and come back and be here as a woman standing strong and having the life of your dreams. And that's you call me, I come.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
I
it.
love you so much.
I do.
Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
Likewise.
Mahalo.
Likewise.
Thank
That's
you
what
for
kind of
everything
friend
you bring
you
to
are.
my life, too.
Amen.
Ooh, as I'm
Amen.
in the middle of them, like tears rolling down my face. I'm just super,
Sorry, girls.
grateful.
Yeah.
Because I'm really like to contribute to society and be of service, to have all these fabulous women that I'm surrounded with, that Eden even wanted to do this show with me, and that like the people that are coming on the show is amazing, because each one of them are such an amazing contribution on this planet, that for me is like the best success, because I'm surrounded with that. Like, forget money, forget anything, like just what everybody brings to me in my life is priceless.
Yes.
So I always end the show with a quote, and she actually said it. And the quote was, "Sharing is caring." So that's it. Thank you for listening to us today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Unapologetically Fab, a production of ElectraCast Media. I'm your host and producer, Stefany Baclaan.
And I'm Eden Alpert, co-host and producer.
Our executive producers are Mark Netter.
And Peter Rafelson.
And our sound engineer is Chris Sousa. If you like our show, which I hope you do, please rate and review us
Wherever you listen to podcasts.
ElectraCast.
Hi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Peter.
We're the founders of ElectraCast Media, bringing you great podcasts like Nightmare Road Stories, Tech Talk Revolution, and Bodacious Minds.
ElectraCast networks include Ruby for female empowerment, the Best Business Network, and GPN for geopolitics. We built this company to create community and amplify diverse voices, and we really appreciate your support.
So keep listening to ElectraCast podcasts and hear the culture.
ElectraCast.
Are you passionate about saving the planet for future generations? Do you want to learn how to do it? If yes, then you need to tune in to the Nature Backed podcast. It's a talk show covering the changing world around us, from renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, circular economy, to ESG and social innovation. Don't miss this opportunity to discover how you can join the movement and make a difference. Subscribe to the Nature Backed podcast today on your favorite platform and get ready to be amazed.